Alright. So, as a recap, for those who are watching this on YouTube, this is Kuon. Now, one thing to remember before you always start Kuon is to make sure that you have your vibration set to off. Language doesn't matter, it's up to you. I play in Japanese just out of habit. You want to make sure that vibration is off, because if you don't, you will get carpal tunnel and your arm and your hands will hurt because the controller will be vibrating the entire run, just about. So, this time, we are going to be playing Young Phase, where we will be playing as the lovely Sakuya. Now, don't mess with these. Most of these, except for set difficulty, aren't actually available until you've beaten the game. They're fun to mess with. It starts you off with like max healing items, and this one, if you are attacked 9 times, game over, which I think would be a great speedrun category, but it's not, so we don't care. Anyway, we are going to start. Now, because I played Yin Phase directly before this, we don't actually get the option to alter our brightness. And because of that, the second we hit yes here, we go into the game, which means technically there is 2 places where you can start your timer. If it is the first playthrough you're doing that day, you start it after the brightness screen, like as you hit to confirm your brightness. If it is the second or more runs that you have done that day without restarting the console, the time starts at start game with current settings. Just a little thing to know. And also, every time you reset the console, you will have to do that again. Okay. Because for some reason, even though this game absolutely does save progress, like whether or not you've beaten Yin Phase and Yang Phase and have access to Kuon Phase, it does not save your settings, so you will have to redo the settings, including setting vibration to off at every time you reset the console. Alright, a lot of Yang Phase is going to look like Yin Phase with the puzzle that you're doing, except in reverse. Because unlike Utsuki, who comes at the mansion from the gardens, Sakuya just starts in the mansion and goes towards the gardens, so they literally start in reverse of each other, essentially. But a lot of the early game is going to look the same, or at least very similar. And by the way, just to reiterate, if you have any questions about any of these runs, please let me know. Oh, shit! So, don't do that. Here's an example of something not to do. If you button mash too much after that cutscene, you'll go through the door automatically. You actually never go into this room during the speedrun. So, when you are button mashing to get the Sacred Clock Mercury, do not go through the door like I just did. Now, like you do a lot in Kuon, you will be following creepy ghost children. I say creepy ghost children, they're not technically ghosts, they're like demon mulberry tree spirits. It's complicated. It's complicated. You're gonna go down here. Now this is the only time that you come into this little save room area. And literally the only reason you're doing it is to trigger cutscenes. Now suddenly there was a ghost there that was not there before. Oh no. He almost always hits me. You can get past him, but it is very RNG whether or not he hits you. But don't worry about it, because remember, especially when you are learning this run, you do have infinite heals on R1 via your meditate ability. Which makes this game very, very easy to learn. Because again, don't do what I just did. So I'm gonna go the way that you're supposed to go. I know this is losing me time, but again, I'm teaching the run. So go this way, don't go the way I went, because I was just played Yin Phase, so I have all of my, okay. Cast a spider. Now this is how I do this fight. Just put a spider in front of me. Now if I was doing a world record run, I wouldn't cast the spider. But the spider sort of stun locks that guy. The second the camera angle changes, you can go through the door. Now, you do have to wait for the camera angle to change, because if you try to do it before then, it'll say, oh no, we can't go through the door because the enemy's still alive. So this door is now open. Something just drug a bunch of blood through here, which I'm sure is fine. Now, you don't necessarily have to pick up this item here in Yang phase. You do need it during Yin phase. I pick it up here in Yang phase for safety, and as long as you are learning the run, you should too. Alrighty. No, I'm not tired. That's not allowed. Oh, I'm in the wrong way. Okay. It is weird to be playing Yang phase directly after Yin phase, because I've got all my Yang phase, okay, directly through the doorway. I've got all of my Yin phase muscle memory right now. Alright. Just go straight down. It'll take you through the scene transition. It'll put you, like, a bunch of feet to the side. Alright, here is going to be another example of picking up a random object that doesn't seem like it can be important, but it will be something that is needed to trigger progression. Do I remember what this actually triggers? No. I just know that something doesn't happen if you don't pick that up. Alright, now just like before, pick up the doggo. And get the pliers. Now, just like in Yang phase, the code is 6, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. The code is 6 to the right, 3 to the left, 5 to the right. You're sort of treating it like a safe cracking thing. Now, sometimes you can get through there without getting grabbed, but it seems to be RNG whether or not it happens. Because you're relying on the enemy's AI, whether or not you get grabbed in that room. I almost always get grabbed in that room, so don't worry about it if you do. It's very rare that I don't get grabbed in that room. Alright. Now, unlike with Utsuki, we're not going to go to the left here because we already have the right way over here open. So we're just going to go back this way. Not doing that means that we get to skip a whole bunch of the shenanigans that we saw during the Yin phase. Alright, there's a dude just munching on a corpse. It's fine. There's a lot of corpse munching in this game. Look, there's some bunnies. Hello, Scorpion. We are explaining the Yang phase of Kuon right now, while staring at bunnies. Alright. And just like before, you can take your finger off of the run button during these scene transitions. But other than that, you will have your hand depressing the circle button pretty much the entire game. The only time during regular gameplay where I'm not depressing circle in order to keep running is during boss fights, and that's just to have more control over my movement. And just like I explained during Yin phase, the reason why you have to make sure that you keep your finger on circle is because if you don't, you will lose the ability to run for a few seconds. Alright, you're gonna press left and up in order to grab that. Now, usually I get grabbed there, but sometimes you can slip by him. That's actually pretty rare. That hardly ever happens. But if you get grabbed there, keep pressing up and left, because when he lets go of you after a grab, you will sort of glitch into the enemy's character model and grab the item behind him. Now, it's only like a little, it's like a hitbox glitch. It's not like you're glitching into the character model completely, but alright. So, don't press anything, press something. Okay. You want to wait a half second there. Oh, shit. You want to wait a half second there. And by the way, it's middle end. The reason why you need to wait a half second there is, there is a glitch with that puzzle that if you go through the tutorial for it too quickly, it won't actually register that you completed the puzzle when you complete it, and it'll force you to do it again. Use emulators? I do not use emulators, no. I'm playing this digitally on a PS3 using a ISO I ripped from my own physical disc, so technically I'm playing it on a cracked PS2, or PS3, but it's just to play ISOs off of it. So, this is very, very, very important or you're going to have a bad time. Pick this up. If you don't pick that up, you're going to have to go to using a bunch of backup strats for the coming boss fights. Now, I forgot to pick it up during my world record run, so if you don't, it's not entirely bad, but you will have a bad time if you don't. Now, I use a PS2 Slim, a Japanese and an English PS2 Slim, or I use a PS3 for most of my run-throughs. Alright, you're going to go to the side here, and you're going to immediately turn around. Hit this guy with fire, or get grabbed, either one doesn't matter, and go past him. Now, if you want to be safe, because you do actually have to come back through here again, if you want to be safe, you can kill him. If you're trying to be safe, I would recommend killing him. Oh, I went the wrong way. See, those are the reflexes from playing Yin phase right before this. So in Yang phase, instead of going towards the little thing to the right of the screen, you have to go toward the left. Because when I picked up the Dochin's writings papers earlier, there was a body on the ground. Now there was an item on the other side of this body. For some reason, Sakuya cannot pick things up across the body, and you actually have to go all the way around to grab it. Which I find hilarious. She can't reach over a corpse to grab an item. No, she has to go all the way around. It is absolutely redonk. Alright, now that I've done that, we can go onwards. Alright, so I am now in Instant Kill Vertigo. If you go into Vertigo from being hit, that means, come on, there we go. That means you are one hit from death. So even if you are doing a speedrun, I recommend healing at that point. Now there are two ways that you can heal. You can either heal with an item, obviously, or you can heal using your meditate command. Now, I'm going to try to hold off showing the meditate command because there is one moment later on where I pretty much always use it because you get a one chance to pretty much have a free meditate. And so that's what I always use. Hello. Now slip past that guy. Just slip right in behind him. And go through here. Now I explained in Yin phase that Sakuya gets an item. Didn't mean to actually turn around there. Okay. This guy takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It will always be 5 unless you also summon a spider. Then it can be 4 depending. Alright, we just got the Sacred Cloth Earth. So during the Yin phase, when you're playing as Utsuki, you start with the Sacred Cloth Earth, and as soon as you get to that cutscene in her playthrough, she gives it to Sakuya, which is the reason why she doesn't have it, and then you have to go find another one later. But now that we have that, we can go open up the last little bits of the mansion. Sakuya's playthrough, the Yang phase, has a lot more backtracking than Yin phase does. Like, a lot more backtracking. So this is the reason why, if you are going for safe, you want to kill the enemy that is in this area over here. Because if you don't... Oh, I actually forgot to do something. Hold on. Hold up. This is fine. I actually forgot to pick something up. So don't do what I just did. Because I was trying to explain this entire time. So, instead of doing what I just did, you need to come over here, grab the item in here. Again, I've got my Yin phase feels going still. That's what happens when you play one phase of this game and then directly jump into the other one. Okay, now you go up here. Now, if you don't kill the enemy demon that was in here before, he will still be here, so you'll have to try to dodge around him. Thankfully, it's easy because the game spawns you ahead of him for some reason. But just like in the yin phase, you need to make sure you pick up the servant's memorandum in this room, because if you do not do that... Oops, I didn't mean to actually hit that. If you do not do that, then you won't actually be able to get to the boss fight. Because picking up that little random note that doesn't have anything to do with anything causes this demon to burst out of a wall. Okay, go into that pillar right there. If you ram yourself into that pillar and wait like a quarter of a second, it almost always causes the little demon dude that I just passed to jump at you instead of attacking you. That makes it so you can just swerve around him. It's faster. Now, I don't always get that. I don't think I got that in my world record run, but it is pretty consistent. Alright. So in this fight, you don't have to actually equip anything, but if you want to, you can equip more powerful spells if you are learning. Heal yourself first, cast a spell immediately, cast a spider in order to keep distance between you and the enemy. Now, usually that causes him to go backwards. Now, the way I normally time my attacks... Boom, 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 boom. The way that I sort of do it is dun, dun, cast. Dun, dun, cast. Dun, dun, cast. Now, it's easier to do that during Sakuya's playthrough, generally. I find, because you're not using the dog, and sometimes the dog can mess up the RNG a little bit. But the dog's faster in yin phase, so I always use it. Yeah, it's sort of a rhythm to the music is what I use for casting in order to try and stun lock the enemy and not have to worry about iframes. It's easier to do in Sakuya's playthrough because of the strategy for the boss fight. Now, I might be able to theoretically use that boss fight in yin phase, or use that strategy for yin phase as a boss fight, but it is faster to use the dog. You just have to deal with sometimes getting a bad boss fight if you want to actually have a good time. Alright, this is bad RNG. Okay. So because I left that dude alive that I said that you can kill for safety, he instead came running up that side area, which is why I got grabbed there. Still faster to leave him alive, but it is more dangerous. So when you are learning the run, I suggest killing him in order to not have him doing what he just did. Alright, so the bell that I just picked up from the boss fight area, we're going to use it here because the person who just ran away inside there, she is scared, and she only comes out when there's the bell. Now she is gone. What happened to her? Don't worry about that. Now, I accidentally picked that up. I didn't mean to, but there is some safety health you can use. But in this run-through, safety health is unnecessary because you have instant heals that you can use through the meditate ability, which I'll show you later. The only time when you're really going to be using health items is during a fight. You don't want to actually use meditate during a boss fight because if you do that, you are leaving yourself open to being murderlated. Also, it desummons any summons you're using, which is bad. Alright. Paper Pupper is best spell. Actually, funny note, if you were to be watching the cutscenes in this game, you would know that the Paper Puppers that Utsuki uses during Yin Phase, she actually got them from Sakuya. During the cutscene where Utsuki gives Sakuya the Sacred Cloth Earth, they actually traded. Sakuya got the Sacred Cloth Earth, but she also gave Utsuki some Paper Puppers. So if you look at your inventory at the beginning of the game, you actually have Paper Puppers. You just give the Paper Puppers to her. Alright, oh no, cutscene. Okay, make sure you pick this up. It is hard to see, but it's there just like it is in the Yin Phase. Make sure you pick that up. But the Silkworm disc, for some reason, is all the way over here. I don't know why it's all the way over there, but it is. Don't worry about it. Alright. So just like in yin phase, now that we have all 3 of the discs, we are going to be going straight to the puzzle. And the puzzle solution is the same. All of the puzzle solutions in this game for the puzzles that are shared between yin phase and yang phase are identical. So if you can remember the solutions for one, you can remember the solutions for the other one. Alright. The solution is the first one that pops up always goes into the top. And then that one. And then that one. It's easy. Okay. I'm actually pressing down on the control pad because the game does have a little bit of maintaining momentum through camera angle changes, which is nice. But because of that, I had to keep the control pad pointed down in order to stop Sakio from turning around. It's weird, when you play the game enough, you'll get used to it. Unless you use the 2D control scheme, or tank controls, which this game does have. It's just they are absolutely awful and I do not recommend. Alright. So we are going to go south, instead of going north like we did as... can we not? Okay. Unlike what we did as, Utsukage, where we went north because there are things in the way of the door there. Alright. So, come on. There we go. So, if you are feeling saucy and low on ammunition, pick that up. But this is what you need. I don't know how I saved 30 seconds there. Okay, game. Oh, I remember why, because I did it in the wrong order. Derp. So there is one thing for a strategy later on that you want to do. You want to go into this room. Now, you don't actually have to go into this room in yang phase. You do in yin phase, but you don't in yang phase. The reason why you go in here during yin phase is just to grab these. Because you're going to need them for a boss fight later. Or actually a boss fight coming up pretty soon. I just forgot to grab them. Usually I grab it before I grab the backup spells and look at the Lady Fujiwara diary. I just forgot. Because when you're trying to be entertaining and explain the entire run as you're doing it, things get a little squirrely. Alright, we're going to be doing the same thing we did during yin phase. Except this time, there's an enemy in this room you have to get around, because yang phase has a lot more combat. Thankfully, you're picking up something in the exact same area and going the exact same way. You just have to worry about dodging around an enemy. Now, I don't know why she decided to go that direction, but okay. See, the game lets you play either yin phase or yang phase in either order, but the game pretty much implies that you should play yin phase then yang phase, because yang phase is a little bit longer, a little bit harder, and it actually makes sense storyline-wise. Yin phase doesn't. It really doesn't. Unless you have it next to yang phase. Alright, and unlike in yin phase, you just have to go in there for the cutscene. You don't actually have to go in there to grab anything. Okay. Hello, Mr. Dude. I called that guy Chad. I think that's what we called him. I let chat name him, like, a month ago. Because I said that we should probably give that guy a name. Because he's a very special enemy who gets in my way all the time. And chat voted on Chad. So that guy's name is Chad. Chad the Gaki. Alright, here we're going to go directly to the right. Because this is going to summon a ghost, and we are going to hit the ghost with the spell. Now, the reason why you hit that ghost with the spell is... hitting the ghost doesn't trigger the cutscene, because the thing that triggers the cutscene is going to look at the little ghost boy that was over there. But you want to make sure that you murderate that ghost, because if you don't, he's going to be there during the boss fight that's going to be in that area in just a minute, and that is the best moment to kill him. You don't want to have to deal with that boss being there, because he's a jerk face when you're trying to do the fight. Okay, so we're going to turn around immediately, because we do not like dealing with the worms. Worms are bad. We do not like the worm enemies. I'm going to wait until he shows up on the screen, and I'm going to go around him. Now, sometimes he hits you there. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Because we have heal items, and we have backup heals, so it's fine. Though, again, you can use the meditate ability if you are having any worries about it. Okay. Hey, look, there's a person there. Okay. We are going to equip the Senin Senkai cards and the Kugitsu Na. Oh, whoop. I meant to heal first. Okay. There we go. Okay. Cast the ice ability, cast a Kugitsu Na immediately. Now, hopefully, the boss fight's done. You might have to cast another Kugitsu Na. Yes, I did. Okay. Now, the reason why I'm not using the Senin Senkai cards is purely because you need to make sure you keep those for a later boss fight as much as possible. Usually I can get through this with 1, maybe 2 castings, but it looks like Lady Fujiwara is going to be a jerk. Okay. Oh no, there's a thing in there. It's mine now. Okay, this right here is one of the reasons why Yang phase in particular is longer than Yin phase. We have to backtrack manually all the way to the mansion. Remember where I picked up that little iron wedge to help get through the doorway to get to this temple area? Yeah, we have to go all the way back there. In Yin phase, you sort of pass out at the point where I had that boss fight, and you get teleported into another area pretty much in the cutscene. That does not happen during Yang phase. You have to manually trek your ass over there. Yang phase has an entire section that's not even in Yin phase, which is another reason why I think that Yin phase was meant to be played first. Liverpool kiss zombie will do. Oh, right. You're talking about the Kugitsu Na. What are you talking about? What about Liverpool? No. Thankfully, you do generally have more access to healing items during Yang phase, but the downside is there's more combat and more boss fights in Yang phase, so you're probably going to need it. Yeah, so let me know if you have any questions, because I am just backtracking at this point. I am the world record holder for this game, so if you have any questions, it would be my pleasure to answer them. The enemy here almost always will grab you, so don't worry about it if he does. See, he just did. Once or twice, he's jumped at me instead, but it's, as far as I know, completely RNG which one he does. Sometimes you're able to manipulate the AI to cause them to jump at you instead of hitting you or grabbing you, but outside of a couple instances, that's not really going to happen. So I just got hit. Oh no. This is bad. Okay, I am in instant kill Vertigo mode. If I get hit here, I will die. Okay, we're safe. Now, we are safe here, as long as I stay where I am at. I'm gonna hit R1. Usually I don't do this till later. This is the meditate ability. This is a full heal that you can use anywhere, anytime, but I would recommend not using it during boss fights because you're most likely gonna get grabbed and killed, and it despawns your summons. So the second I go too far forward here, an enemy jumps through there, which is why I had to do that at the doorway. Alright. We're hating into the Metal Gear Solid games. Yeah. See, I think backtracking is fine as long as you have incentive. Like, sure, have backtracking, but give yourself like a special tool that, sure, you're backtracking, but you're backtracking in a different way than you got there, sort of. Does that make sense? Alright. So, that is technically optional health, but I pretty much always pick it up because you're going to need it for the next boss fight coming up, most likely. But if you remember where I picked up those healing items just then, directly to the left on the other side of the Torii Gate was another item. I did not pick that up. That is something called a vessel. Now, just like in the old school Resident Evil games, this game forces you to use an item to save. In this game, they are called vessels. If you are learning this game, I recommend using vessels at save points as you pass them. Just as you're learning the run, because some parts of the game can get a little dicey when you're still learning it. And that is a place where you can pick up some more, because I think you start the game with 2 or 3 vessels. So that's 2 or 3 free saves. But if you want more, you're going to have to pick those little things up along the way. This place up here, right here, those little fires up there, that's a save point, by the way. And you're going to go here. Oh my god, enemies! Oh my god, it's an enemy. So I just used the jump button. You only use it in like 2 or 3 places in the game. And it gives you a tutorial beforehand, so when you're playing it casually, trust me, you'll learn about it. Alright, Vertigo is gone. Now, since we oh my god enemied, there's now enemies in this area. They are giant Japanese macaque-looking motherfuckers. We don't like them. Usually you can get through there just fine without getting hit, though, so it's, you know, fine. Skip the cutscene. Alright. Utsuki wants a mallet because they accidentally messed up the little rope ladder they made there, so we need a mallet to fix it. This here is a little bit dicey, this area that I'm going into, because you can insta-kill. Do not go through that door. Do not go through that door. Go to the window, look in the window, look to the side, oh my god, enemy, exit out. Pick up this item. This is where you get a free meditate. Because you have to wait. It's okay to use a meditate here. You have to wait, look at the left side of the screen, until you can see that enemy that I saw through the window. Alright. Pick up the mallet. If you want safety, pick this up. This is the important one. Make sure you pick up that spell. Now, the reason why you had to wait is if you didn't wait and you opened that door, that enemy would instant kill you. Alright, let go of the run button. Run again. If you are not running during Vertigo event, you won't get into Vertigo. Alright, so what we're going to do is equip this card, and if you have extras, equip the Kugutsu Na. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to turn away from him. We're going to cast the spell. We're going to cast it again. Okay, we're fine. Alright, we're going to cast it again. Go forward a little bit. Cast it a 3rd time. Go forward a little bit. Okay. I think it's fine. Is he dead? No. Okay. He's still alive, so we're going to cast the last Kugutsu Na. He can die in 4 of those hits. It just depends on whether or not he actually gets properly hit there. And we're going to equip the Hien card. This is backup strat, because it didn't cause enough damage. Now he's already dead. You can theoretically get through that entire fight with just those 4 first spells that I used, but it only happens occasionally that way. It doesn't always happen that way. Because of what I mentioned earlier with this game and invincibility frames, and the fact that all of the enemies have way too many of them. Alright. Now we're just following Utsuki. Now, if you watched my Speedruns explains of the Yin phase, you'll be a little confused because this never happened in the Yin phase. Yeah, the game doesn't explain that either. There's whole sections with Utsuki that are not in the Yin phase at all. My explanation is that Utsuki has some memory issues in Yin phase that if you watch the cutscenes and read some of the notes are pretty obvious. So my assumption is always she had a little bit of memory loss problems. In fact, I think I know the moment where all of the extra stuff you see in Yang phase happened in Yin phase, but I couldn't really explain that until, you know, I do a lore through where you see the cutscenes. So make sure you stay on the left side of that stairway, because sitting on the left side of that stairway causes that little Gaki to get stuck against the pillar like he just did. And doing that lets you get past him without getting hit. Alright, here. We are essentially going in the same loop that Utsuki goes through. Except in reverse. Okay. One could probably jump down. Yeah, no shit. The downside is there's an enemy in here. There was not an enemy in this room in Yin phase. Now, if you watch the Yin phase playthrough, you'd be like, wait, are we going to have a boss? Nope. Because you look in the back there. Do you guys see him? Yep. This is the one time where both phases have the same boss, but they have them in different areas. Now, still pick up the healing items here, because trust me, you will probably need them when you're learning the run. I don't during regular playthroughs, during my speedrun world record attempts, but especially when you're learning, make sure you pick that up. Alright, let's hope I don't get turned around again. Okay, we're fine. Oh no! It's an enemy! Alright, we're having a cutscene where it shows all of our friends getting murdered. Don't worry about it. Now, one little tip for skipping cutscenes is something that I do is I hit start. I'll wait at the fade to black and do a cutscene for about a second or two, and then I will hit start 3 times quickly. Usually, that skips the cutscene just fine before it even loads in. Sometimes I'll do it too early or too late or something, but generally that's my method. Oh, whoops. I went the wrong way. That's my method for getting through cutscenes as quickly as possible, because this game is timed IGT. Or not IGT. It's not timed IGT, it's timed RTA, which means it includes loads and includes cutscenes. Okay, make sure you equip the Seni and Senka, because this guy goes down in 8 of these. 7 or 8, I can't remember which. And because they automatically hone in on him, you don't have to worry about them missing, generally. This is why I didn't use all of these in the boss fight earlier, because this guy is a pain in the butt. And he's dead. So yeah, it functionally lets you skip the boss fight, and it's pretty nice. As you can see from my world record attempt where I accidentally messed that up and didn't have the sending cards that I needed, I just saved 30 seconds. So make sure you keep those ice magic cards for this fight specifically. And I didn't actually save 30 seconds, I just hit the button at the wrong time. I was supposed to hit it here, but whatever. I don't even care. It's not like I'm going to save these splits anyway. Also, the game glitched out. Do you hear it? It glitches out here a lot. It's still playing the boss fight music for some reason. For some reason, it's still playing the boss fight music. I don't know why. But it bugs out pretty much every single time I speedrun this phase. Alright, hug to the left. And go to the left around this pillar. Oh, I went too far. Okay, it's fine. You want to try to hug to the left there, but not too far left. This is why you pick up extra health. In order to try and get around there, but I went too far left and changed the camera angle on accident. Okay. So during the cutscene that I skipped earlier, where we saw all of our friends getting killed by the creepy sister, we now don't see any bodies, which is weird, right? I wonder what happened to Sakuya's brother and the creepy sister. What could they possibly be doing in this creepy little bin? Oh, hey, they're now one person. Okay, just go around, pick that up, and fuck right off. It is a boss fight that you do not actually have to do. You do not... Technically, you can't... There's a couple ways you can get through there. One of them I find really interesting, okay? You can actually hide inside that little crate. So, one thing that you can do is you could go, oh no, there's the dude there, and leave the area, and it'll if I remember correctly, leave the area, it'll despawn the boss. So you go back in, and you go pick up the item, but all of a sudden, the boss is chasing you, and then you can hide in the little crate. That's my personal favorite way to do it, but that takes like an extra minute or two. So you don't do it during the speedrun. Alright, you guys ready for a jump scare? So I got that wooden handle earlier. You're going to use the wooden handle here. Okay. Gonna turn a cutscene and... Oh my god! The creepy sister returns! The creepy sister has finished eating your brother. Womp womp. Alright, you're going to pick up this mirror and you're going to go all the way back. You know, just for safety, I'm going to heal early. Because the second you go into this next area, you remember how the creepy sister was looking at you? All creepy-like? Hey look, it's the creepy sister! So it seems weird, but the reason I was able to dodge around her without her even trying to attack me is I ran straight at her. So it was sort of like down and to the left, running straight at her in order to get her to sort of lunge at me like she did there for a half second. And then I swerve around her. That consistently gets you through there without getting hit. In fact, I don't actually... Oh, I went too far to the left there. Oops. So you don't want to go too far towards the pillars there. I normally stay away from the pillars during this part, but I was explaining something, so I wasn't paying attention. But yes. If you know where the Vertigo little ghost trigger moments are, you can dodge them. Okay, go towards the tree, skip the cutscene, take your hand off of the run button. Do not hit circle in this room. Or you will not instant die, but it's pretty damn well guaranteed you'll die. Skip the cutscene, hand off the run button. Because for some reason, pretty much that entire room, just during that part of the Yang phase, is one giant Vertigo button. Pressing run in any part of that area there will cause approximately 5 million ghosts to spawn right up your butt. It's not fun. Don't do it. Don't run in that room. I know it seems slow to not run, but don't do it. Alright, now for the most part, Yang phase at this point is just like the ending of Yin phase. It's pretty much the same. Going straight to the end of the game. We are almost there. Almost. Okay. Just like in Yin phase, do not go through the center of this room, go to the side here. Turn directly around and make a wide berth. Do not go through the center of the room or it will instant kill you. Now, sometimes you have to be on a very specific pixel to get things to work here. Thankfully, it worked first try. The way I sort of do it is I put myself in the dead center of where I know the crack is, and usually that works. There are a couple times, though, where it will pop up saying, you cannot use this here. Do not use this here. It's just because you're on the wrong pixel. This game can be a little demanding in terms of placement for using items. Alright. Now here, I have my hand off the run button again, not because I don't want to run, but because I don't want to run into this guy. This guy is bad. It takes too long to kill him, so we just have to sort of nudge ourselves forward. Not too close, because we don't want him to attack us. We want to wait for him to do that. Once he runs forward... Oh, this is bad. Okay, this is fine. We need to get past him. It takes too long to kill him. It's faster to just wait. Thankfully, unlike in Yin phase, there's nothing in this room. No enemies. One thing that can help is letting go of the directional button when you're going through rooms for like a half second. Because sometimes if you hold your direction while you're going through rooms, it will cause you to do like weird U-turns and go in weird directions. Like I did just now in the other room. So let go and go forward. X, let go, hold forward. In order to go in the correct direction. Now I can hear the worms in the other room because this isn't technically a loading screen. So it's sort of RNG what their placement is, just sort of get good at dodging. Okay, go straight to the door. Don't mind that he's there because you can mash through him. Alright, we are almost at the end here, though Yang Phase, unlike Yin Phase, has one last fuck you! Alright, let's go skip the cutscene. Oh no, the creepy sister's back. So go through here. And we are back towards like the halfway point of the run? Oh no, what are we doing here? But guess what? The worm is still there. That's the little last fuck you. And time. So that is the last little tiny bit of FU in the Yang Phase, because that enemy can and will kill you on the last screen of the game. Just a random mook. Not even the boss. Alright. Now again, you can play using the Japanese or the English voice acting, because the US version of the game does have both, and I think the PAL version does as well. I just played in Japanese because if you hear English too many times, you get bored, so you switch to Japanese for a while, then English, then Japanese, just to change it up when you've played it as many times as I have. Oh my god, Utsuki's having problems with her face. How rude. And that is Yang Phase. Yang Phase Speedrun explained by me, the world record holder, in all but Kuon Phase, because Kuon Phase is made of RNG, which will be the next one I do.